Welcome my dear listeners, stay with me to get the spoilers first. And subscribe to the channel. Let's find out what's going to happen on The Young and the Restless. Genoa City in peril. Riza returns with Matt Clark's vicious revenge scheme. When are spoilers for the week ahead? The threat in Genoa City is now all too real. The latest spoiler reports have Matt Clark returning to town very much alive while Riza Thompson's ties to the chaos continue to draw more people into the blast zone. Same spoiler wave, Nick hiding a secret. Chelsea grilling Adam about Riza. Matt's revenge machine already in motion. Noah, Sharon, Nick and Adam all sitting too close to the fire. When the week begins, it feels as though the whole city is walking into a trap without knowing it. The air is thick enough to choke on. People feel that something is wrong, but no one can yet see the complete outline of the threat. And that's just the way Matt wants it. No need to rush. He had waited long enough, watched long enough, learned long enough to know that fear was best built slowly. Matt's arrival back home isn't heralded by any grand proclamation. It starts with a shadow. He appears when you are least likely to find him, gliding with the easy confidence of someone convinced the world owes him a second chance. He looks like a man who knows how this is going to end. He's not coming back to Genoa City to reconnect, to explain himself or to ask forgiveness. He's back to collect. His every glance, his every step, his every pause before he speaks, all tell the same tale, that he is here for vengeance and that he means to enjoy it. Riza is the first real indication that the old nightmare is not over. Her return is not an accident. She's bound to whatever Matt does next by fear, loyalty, manipulation, or some blend of all three. For some reason she's right in the thick of the storm and her presence immediately sends out a kind of signal that makes everyone who knows the past look over their shoulder. Chelsea's suspicion of Adam and Riza just adds fuel to the fire because once Chelsea starts asking questions, it is evident this connection runs deeper than a passing flirtation or a casual favor. Riza is dangerous not just because she came back. It is that she came back with knowledge. She knows where the bodies are buried figuratively and maybe literally. She knows how Matt thinks. She knows what he's after. And she may know enough about Adam and Nick and the Vegas fallout to be the one person who can tip the scales in Matt's favor. If she is under pressure, fear may make her careless. If she's acting of her own free will, then she's more dangerous than Matt himself. Meanwhile, in Genoa City, Nick already has a secret of his own. Spoiler alert, he's hiding something big enough that Victoria is the one he finally tells later this week. He is therefore keeping back information while the danger is mounting about him. And in a story like this one, to keep one secret usually means you're standing on 10 others. Nick knows more than he's saying, and that silence gives Matt all the opening he needs. And that's when the trap really starts to close. In Vegas, Matt has apparently boxed in the Newman group and is crowing that they're right where he wanted them. He even refers to a huge fireball, making it clear that his plan is not simply revenge in the emotional sense. If nobody gets out in time, it is real danger, real destruction, real loss. The configuration implies that Matt has transformed a petrol station into the epicenter of a deadly trap, with the Newman clan unwittingly walking right into the blast radius. And then there's Adam, who is already playing a dangerous game of his own, suddenly realizing that the ground under his feet is not just shaky. It's weird. He has been around enough chaotic situations to know when things are going to get deadly, but this time the danger is not coming from a boardroom or family squabble. It's physical. Urgent. True. And if he hesitates, he may not get a second chance to move. Nick isn't in any better shape. He's already been through too much emotional and physical strain to know his instincts won't be enough this time. He is trying to protect Sharon, protect Noah, protect the family and keep it from blowing up in the public eye. But Matt is always one step ahead, and that means every choice Nick makes now is weighted with a potential funeral. Once he realizes the trap is real, panic turns to urgency and urgency to survival mode. That's where Riza's part gets even more sinister. She is not a simple returnee. She's the one who helps keep the edges of Matt's scheme from fraying. She could be feeding him information, closing off escape routes, or keeping someone busy just long enough for the plan to lock down. She may be pretending to be torn while secretly serving the man she fears most. Either way, her return implies that Matt's revenge has depth, and that with each layer comes new danger for those who think they are only fighting one enemy. Something feels terribly wrong back in Genoa City for Sharon, even before she knows how badly things have gone wrong. She's already in a fog of worry and doubt, and when she starts asking questions of Sienna about her background, It's clear she's trying to put together a puzzle that hasn't been officially given to her. Sharon has always been good at sensing emotional undercurrents, and this time the current is practically screaming. She can feel the old Matt Clark nightmare coming back to life. That knowledge makes her feel edgy in the worst possible way. Noah is in danger too, because the spoilers about the Vegas trap make it clear he's one of the people caught in Matt's web. That immediately changes the emotional scale of the story. This is not only revenge against the family of the Newmans. It's revenge on some people that Matt feels have done him wrong, and Noah may be paying for choices that were never fully his own. When a character like Noah is caught up in a revenge plot this brutal, it's not just a question of if he'll see another day. It's about what damage will be left if he does. And then there's Adam. Adam's position in this whole nightmare is complicated, because he is part of the chaos and part of the attempt to stop it. Chelsea questioning him about Riza means she already feels the tension between them, and that tension could make things worse when Adam needs focus the most. If Chelsea is believing that Adam and Riza had more than just a few innocent conversations, then Adam has two fires to put out. The deadly one that Matt started and the relationship one that Chelsea is starting to see through. Matt knows just how to exploit that kind of weakness. He doesn't need to have everyone weak simultaneously. He only needs the right person to be distracted at the right moment. A half-truth here, a hidden attraction there, a suspicious phone call, a badly timed confrontation, and the people trying to stop him are suddenly too busy managing each other to notice the real threat. This is the beauty and the beast of his plan. He doesn't just attack bodies. He is attacking trust. As the week progresses, the fear begins to creep outside the Vegas storyline and into the heart of Genoa City. Victor won't say he's sorry, Nikki won't let it go, Christine corners Phyllis, and the whole city appears to be careening around on several different axes at once. Because that matters, since Matt's revenge doesn't happen in a vacuum. It takes place in a city already saturated with conflict. He's walking into a place where allegiances are thin, tempers are short, and no one can afford to think that a threat is someone else's problem. Which means once the truth begins to break, it will break fast. One conversation will give away a second secret. One warning will lead to another panic call. One wrong step makes it difficult to get out of the trap. And when Matt finally takes the action outside, his people will see that he has orchestrated a form of revenge that is not only punitive but humiliating. He wants to shake the Newmans up. He wants Adam boxed in. He wants Nick powerless. He wants to frighten Sharon. And he wants Riza to be useful enough that she can't walk away from what she's helped to create. The scariest part is that Matt is not improvising. It seems like he planned this out ahead of time, probably with the petrol station deal, the ties to Vegas, and the Riza connection to keep everyone just where he wants them. That is to say, any move the heroes make may already have been anticipated. In a revenge story like this, the villain is most dangerous when he has already run through the rescue attempts in his head and built counters for them. Matt doesn't want chaos, period. He wants to bring order to the chaos. So when the rescue attempt finally comes, it's too late to make it simple. Adam and Nick might try to get away. Sharon might try to warn the others. Noah could try to save someone else and get himself into deeper trouble. And Riza, somewhere between victim and accomplice, may be forced to decide whether she's willing to burn with Matt, or finally betray him at the worst possible moment. That's the energy this story is building to. One dangerous homecoming, one secret ally, one revenge plot designed to transform a city into a trap. It is larger than one family argument or one bad decision. Genoa City is on the path of something ruthless, and Matt Clark has returned to make sure everyone pays. By the end of the week, the question won't be if Matt gets back alive. It'll be whether anyone else makes it out of his revenge scheme as they went in. Another Y&R pregnancy on the horizon? Adam's baby question to Chelsea. Sally is pregnant with Billy's child, and Adam and Chelsea are once again being pushed toward one of those dangerous, intimate conversations that can change everything in a single heartbeat. The spoiler report says Adam and Chelsea are about to have a big next phase talk during the May sweeps, with the two trying to get on the same page about what they want. Chelsea also starts questioning Adam about Riza. Adam will also have to consider losing baby Ava with Sally, which will make the whole subject of babies, loss and future family even more emotionally charged. For Chelsea, that's a combination that makes her blood race a little faster and her defenses go up at the same time. She has been through too much, loved too much, and survived too many emotional earthquakes to act like a conversation about the future is just that. Chelsea knows when a man like Adam goes quiet, he's not empty, he's calculating, remembering, regretting. And lately he had more than enough reason to do all three. So when Chelsea presses Adam about Riza, she's not just asking about one woman. She is testing the temperature of the whole relationship. Adam tries to answer casually at first, as if he can smooth the moment over with charm and half smiles. Riza's nothing special, he says. He says there is no need for Chelsea to worry. It's complicated enough without making it into something more than it is, he says. Chelsea, for one, is not buying any of that for a second. Chelsea has discovered that when Adam is too quick to say nothing, it usually means something. She watches him and feels the change come over him. There is a stillness, a hidden tension. He has thoughts he carries that he has never spoken. He's thinking about recent chaos, about the lives colliding around him, and the strange way fate keeps throwing him back into old emotional territory just when he thinks he's finally moved on. The shadow of Sally's pregnancy hangs over everything, and Adam can't hide the fact that it's got to him more than he wants anyone to know. And that's what makes Chelsea nervous. If Adam is still emotionally rattled by Sally's news, what does that say about her place in his life? The question comes at her in the silence that follows the Riza conversation as it starts to fade. It's not really about Riza anymore. It's about legacy. It's about family. It's about whether Adam sees Chelsea as the woman he wants to build something permanent with. Chelsea doesn't ask it lightly. She doesn't want to sound desperate or needy. But she doesn't want to live with the uncertainty forever either. So she takes a breath and asks the question that has been gnawing at her from within. Would Adam want a baby with her again? The words are out before she can stop them and the air changes. Adam freezes. Not because he doesn't understand the question but because he understands it too well. He knows exactly what Chelsea is asking for. She is not just tossing out the idea of children. She wonders if Adam can envision a future with her that involves more than day-to-day romance and crisis management. She's asking if she's the woman he'd still choose to build a life with when everything else is gone. Adam is instantly taken back to the emotional wreckage of Sally and baby Ava. The memory is messy. It is not peace. It's the kind of old wound that never really heals, especially when a new pregnancy story lands in the middle of a new relationship crossroads. The pain still exists and it influences everything Adam is feeling right now. He does the normal thing when the truth hurts and he stops. Chelsea sees the break and hates it. Not because he is lying but because sometimes silence is more frightening than rejection. In that silence she hears what he is not saying. Maybe he's thinking of what he's lost. Perhaps he is wondering if he is ready. Maybe he's thinking of Sally and Billy and the complications that always seem to follow him. Or maybe he's thinking, heck, he and Chelsea have gone through enough storms already, they should be thankful for what they have instead of asking for more. But Chelsea isn't after greed. He wants to be certain. And, in Genoa City, certainty is always the most slippery thing in the room. Adam finally answers, gingerly, aware that this is one of those conversations where one wrong word can crack the whole foundation. He tells Chelsea he cares for her. He says he's trying to be honest. He tells her that the idea of another child is not something he can just push aside, not when there are so many feelings still raw around him. But he doesn't say yes straight out and he doesn't say no straight out. This is much worse. Ambiguity settles in her chest like a stone. She begins to wonder if it is the wrong time, if she has asked too much, if Adam is really telling her the truth as carefully as he can. She knows he has a heart. She knows he can want family. She knows, too, that he has the capacity to fear it, particularly when the memory of loss is fresh, and the world around him is a constant source of new reasons to panic. They are getting closer to the edge of something real. And that is where the story gets powerful. Chelsea starts to admit she's not just asking because of baby talk. She asks because she needs to know where she is. She wants to know if Adam is still emotionally available for a future that includes more than passion and survival. She wants to know if the love they share can become a life that can face grief instead of running from it. Adam listens. This time he doesn't rush into defending himself. He knows there's more than one conversation. He knows Chelsea has been carrying fear she might not say out loud under normal circumstances. He also knows he's not always made it easy to be safe for the people he loves. Adam knows one thing, it is that the people closest to him often ask the toughest questions because they have learned not to trust the easy answers. So he opens up some more. Not all at once. Not drastically. But it was enough for Chelsea to feel the change. He admits that the thought of another baby is too much. Too much hope. Too much fear. Too much memory. Losing baby Ava has left its mark on Sally, And now that she is expecting Billy's child, he can't just separate one emotion from the other. The whole subject is tangled with loss, timing, and the weird cruelty of seeing the past reappear in a different face. And this is why the baby question is so dangerous. It's not a new topic. It is an old wound touched once more. Chelsea softens, but just a little. Because Adam being honest doesn't take away her fear. It just makes it to shape. Now she knows the hesitation is not a lack of love, necessarily. It may be a sign that maybe Adam's still grieving in ways he never fully named. It may also mean that he is afraid to promise something he cannot guarantee. Chelsea knows that fear. She's lived with it herself. The space between them falls silent. This is when another couple might declare their undying love for each other or get into a brawl. But Chelsea and Adam are too messy for anything that neat. Instead, they begin to carefully circle the future, like two people standing on the edge of a frozen lake, both knowing that the ice could hold or crack depending on how much weight they put on it. Chelsea asks if Adam can really see a future with her. Not just tonight, not this week only. A true future. Adam doesn't give her a fantasy. He gives her something better. Honesty with a bite. He says yes, he can see a future with her, but he has to know that they are both looking at the same picture. He also wants honesty. He has no secrets. He wants the relationship to survive the truth, not just the good days. That answer stings because it's the closest thing to a promise Chelsea has heard in ages. And yet there lingers the baby question. Maybe Chelsea isn't asking because she's already pregnant. Perhaps she is asking because the idea of pregnancy has been put in her head, because she sees Sally's situation and wonders if life can take her and Adam down the same road. Or perhaps the story is laying the emotional runway for that possibility. The spoiler chatter says the couple is heading toward a major conversation about the next phase of their love story, and that alone makes it feel like the show is not done pushing them toward something even bigger. Being Chelsea cannot leave it at that. Now she starts to think about what a baby would mean, not some abstract future. That would mean being vulnerable. That would be a bond new. It would mean trusting a man who had spent so many years trying to hold his life together while pieces kept slipping out of reach. It would mean a new start, but also the potential for new heartbreaks. And Adam doesn't know if he's afraid or excited. And that is the irony of the whole affair. The same man who appears hesitant to consider the prospect of another child is the same man who deep down longs for a moment of solitude so pure it might just turn into family. A kid wouldn't fix everything. It wouldn't erase the past. But it would make you choose. It would make the future real. It is that reality which frightens him. Chelsea also feels this way. She knows Adam well enough to see the tension in his features. He is not ruling her out. He has a hard time with her. Wrestling with himself. Struggling with how love and fear are so intertwined that even a simple question can feel like a test. By the time the conversation is over, nothing is quite resolved. That's the thing. This is not a story that you can read in an afternoon and the answer is given away. It's the kind that plants a seed and watches who panics, who hopes, and who acts as if they're not already imagining a nursery, a future, or a new heartbreak just beyond the next scene. Chelsea leaves with more than she came with, but not certainty. Even if he never expected the question to come back this soon. Adam stares at the possibility that he is not done being a father. And the audience is left with the delicious uncertainty that makes soap opera storytelling work so well. Maybe another pregnancy really is brewing. Or maybe this conversation is just the beginning of a much bigger emotional arc between Chelsea and Adam. Either way, the baby question is now out in the open, and once such a question is spoken aloud, it does not go away easily. It grows teeth. It takes up space. It changes the temperature of all rooms it enters. For Chelsea, it's a matter of the heart. For Adam, it's about recollection. For both of them, it might be a question of whether they are brave enough to want the same future at the same time. And Genoa City is where trouble usually starts. And here's the truth that really hits me. This isn't just about revenge or secrets anymore. It's about timing. And timing in Genoa City is never kind. Because when fear, love, and unfinished business collide, someone always breaks first. And I don't think it's going to be who we expect. Matt isn't just attacking people. He's exposing cracks that were already there. And that's what makes him truly dangerous. And honestly, I think the real explosion might not come from that fireball in Vegas. It might come from one emotional decision made at the worst possible second. Bez, look closely. Nick is hiding. Adam is hesitating. Chelsea is questioning. And Riza is watching. And that combination feels like a disaster waiting to happen. In my opinion, The biggest threat right now isn't Matt. It's hesitation. It's secrets. It's people waiting too long to tell the truth. So let me ask you this. Do you think Riza will betray Matt before it's too late? Or is she already too deep in his game? And what about Adam? Is his silence protecting Chelsea? Or slowly pushing her away? Here's my prediction. Something goes wrong in that Vegas trap. But the real fallout, the kind that changes relationships forever, that's going to hit after everyone thinks the danger is over. And when that moment comes, someone will have to choose between love and survival. And not everyone will choose the same way. So keep your eyes on the quiet moments, because that's where the biggest twists are hiding. And if you're feeling that tension building too, stay with me because the next chapter might change everything, just when it feels like it's finally settling down.